All right, so this is my video blog, my vlog. It's not a podcast. I think the word podcast is a little bit overused these days. So this is my vlog. And I wear a tie when I'm doing this stuff sometimes. I'm not going to always be wearing a tie, but I like to wear a tie because I think it puts me together a little bit. I can organize my thoughts. I always present my work in a tie on TikTok or Instagram. Like if I sell a painting or something and I want to present it, I'll wear a tie so it looks kind of sophisticated, like a little bit of salesy and stuff. So I don't mind it, but I don't always wear it. So I've been in New York City pushing out art for 25 years. I've been doing this a long time. I've been on YouTube a long time and TikTok a long time and Instagram a long time. And I've changed my accounts tons of times because I don't know how to use it. And sometimes as an artist, you get a little bit paranoid with your work. You get a little bit paranoid with the people around you as an artist. So I've changed my accounts a lot of times. So I've started over many times. But I think I'm going to keep going with this one. I'm going to go with this account. So after 25 years, I've learned a few things about art. And most of what I learned is that it is drudgery. It's brutal. But we still do it, and we do it a lot. So the next thing that I'd like to say is that I just took my kids and my wife to a Broadway show, but I didn't go to the Broadway show. I just dropped them off. It's like 3 or 4 I think it's 4 in the afternoon. I dropped them off on 42nd Street to see a Broadway show. I think it was at noon. It took me 3 hours to get back because it's Sunday. It's a Sunday schedule out here in New York. It takes forever. So I dropped them off at a Broadway show because I bought the ticket on my phone because of this weird app they have. So I had to go to the show to let my wife and kids in. And then I just came back because I don't want to go to a Broadway show on a Sunday. I want to come back here and do my work. I want to do this new vlog. This is new. This is a new vlog for me because I'm a little bit inspired by people just talking into the microphone about their lives and sort of doing away with the mystery. I've been around a while, and I think for a while the thing was to stay mysterious. Like nobody knows how you make money. Nobody knows, who you are, where you came from, what bills you're paying, who's your partner, all that stuff. I think that's over. That's over with. And the other thing is artists weren't supposed to talk. Artists don't talk. Visual artists are a little awkward and they don't talk. You'll never hear a visual artist who's like pretty well known talking. I don't know why. I mean, you might see Damien Hirst on his Instagram talking, but you don't see him on many podcasts or on any television shows. They don't talk. I think it's because they're not very interesting. I mean, you got to be pretty interesting to keep someone's attention. Visual artists aren't that interesting. We're like sort of like quiet philosophers that do things. But I digress. I go by the name Leviticus. And I've been branding myself Leviticus, world's most famous artist, for many years. Now, I know I'm not the world's most famous artist, and I know that nobody thinks I'm the world's most famous artist, but I look at myself as a conceptual artist, and the world's most famous artist is just part of my conceptual art. Just like my name that I use, Leviticus, is part of my broader conceptual art. I see myself as a conceptual artist who also does a lot of craft work. I do a lot of portraits from photos for money, but I'm a conceptual artist. And I've certainly grown into a conceptual artist over the years. So I went with the name Leviticus because my real name is Lev Schieber. And I remember going to a beach many years ago when I first started out in my 20s thinking, I don't know if I can go with the name Lev Schieber because I think I'm going to have to do some wild stuff out there in order to make a name for myself as an artist, which I have. But at the time, I didn't know. I just had an instinct that maybe going with my real name wouldn't help my cause that much, because I'd have to be on the street a lot, doing a lot of street art. I didn't know I would be at that time, but it turns out that I did, and the name that I used became important. And a lot of people ask me, well, is Leviticus biblical? Like, I'm not into the Bible. Like, I'm not into this Leviticus stuff. And it's not biblical. It's just a longer name for Lev. It's Leviticus. And when you sign a painting Leviticus, it kind of looks a little cooler on the canvas. So that's why I went with it. And the world's most famous artist, that's how I promote myself on the street. It's my attempt at branding as a conceptual artist. I know I'm not the world's most famous artist. Like, I'm pretty delusional, but I'm not that delusional. I pretty much know what's going on. I'm from Atlanta, Georgia. That's where my mother raised me, in the woods of Atlanta, Georgia. And I was a gymnast growing up, and I got a scholarship. I'm not going to talk about it now, because if I keep doing these vlogs, I'm sure I'll get into it. But I guess what I really want to do is look at some art. That was my intent anyway. My intent is also to do this for about 20 minutes. So most of what I do for a living is I paint oil paintings from photographs. A lot of it is pets, and a lot of it is people, and I promote myself on the street. That's how I make my living. And I live in New York, so you can imagine it's a lot of money. So I also promote for other people, but most of my work is painting pictures. And I was talking to a friend of mine the other day, and art's really boring. It's super boring for people to look at. That's why when you go to an art gallery, most people don't face the paintings. They'll turn their back on it. They want to look at the people who's in the room. They don't want to look at the painting. But I think the value of painting, the value of visual art, is to critique it. I think part of the whole point of visual art is to have something to critique, because people love it. Here, I'll show you this. I asked a friend of mine what he thought of this painting. This is what I did for a woman. This is a commission. Let's see if you can see this. So this is a commission, and I showed it to my friend, who's a really good artist. And, he was critiquing the cheekbones and the nose and the lips and the eyes. He critiqued everything. So I went back into it, and I added a little bit of depth to the cheek, a little bit of shadowing in the eyes, and some red in the lips. The necklace I left. It was pretty good as is. And then I showed him a picture, and it was exactly the same. I mean, for all of the critiquing we did and all of the stuff we were sort of analyzing about the painting, it didn't change much. Now I'm worried that the painting is going to be wet when the woman picks it up in a few days. So most of my worries in painting is if it's going to dry on time, if the person that I'm doing the commission for is going to like it. So oftentimes I'll send them a picture when it's not quite done, because one, I need the money. Two, because if I work on it too much and she doesn't like it, I have to go back, well, her or he, whoever it is. If they don't like it, I have to go back into it and rework it. And oftentimes it's a very nerve-wracking experience when you're sending the final photo to the person who commissioned it. So oftentimes I'll send the photo, I'll collect the money, and then I'll go back into it after I've critiqued it and I've sent the photo of the painting to a few people that know what they're doing, and then they'll critique it a bit, and I might go back into it, but oftentimes I won't go back into it. Oh, I forgot to show you the photo of the painting. So this is the photo of the painting. My my mic is gonna fall, but that's okay. It's not even a real mic. So this is the photo. Tell me what you think. The photo versus the painting. And I know the mic is in the way. That's fine. But I mean, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. So, my goal, I guess, is to get it as realistic as possible and still stylize it so it's so there's some energy to it. Just a realistic portrait is cool. That's not the right word. It's respectable. It's the more realism you can get, the more impressive it is. But I think you can impress with it being pretty realistic, and then a lot of brushwork, highly stylized, a lot of color work. There's ways that I want to express myself that isn't just grinding out a realistic portrait, because first of all, it's a grind. It's super hard to do. Which is fine. It should be super hard to do because you're getting money for it. But I think it's more impressive if it's a combination of realism and expression and color work. There's a lot of stuff involved. I think this painting does accomplish that. Although there's not much going on in the background, but I don't mind for that one. I mean, it's kind of what she wanted. I mean, so I make my money mostly with private sales with people. I advertise on the street that I'm an artist for hire that takes commissions, and that's how I make most of my art money. The other half is promoting for other people because, like I said, I live in New York City. I just bought my family Broadway tickets. You need an enormous amount of money to have any sort of interesting life. So most of what I do is my art, and then the rest is like promoting and stuff. Long story, I'll get into it later or not, but I probably will. Tie's looking pretty good. It's still holding out. So there is an art world, like a world of gallery shows and people who are interested in art and have some sort of ambition to promote it. I've been in New York, like I said, for 25 years with a pretty public name as far as the commissions, and my name recognition it's okay. It's enough where if there was something going on, I'd be invited at least to a group show at some point. Just because I've been on the street for so long, and a lot of people have seen me around, and I just know that from the parents at my kids' schools. I mean, they're really straight people. Lawyers, doctors, accountants, like whoever can afford private school tuition, those are the parents at my schools, at my kids' school. And like all those parents have like heard of me from my street work. So that's my litmus test for like where I am in the world of name recognition. I'm out there enough to where if there was something interesting going on in the art world, I'd probably be invited to a group show or something. I haven't seen it yet, so I'm just selling my work privately because I have control over that. Just like I have control over this vlog. I just want to control what I can control. I can't control having an art show right now, although having said that, I'd like to show you the stuff that I do consider my sort of abstract conceptual art. This is a new piece I did. I just did this piece. I'll go back a little bit. And this piece is called Snake Eyes. All right? So the idea behind Snake Eyes, and a lot of my conceptual pieces, is I just get an object, a simple object, and this is a large kid's die or dice. Is one dice a dice and two a die, or this is one dice. and I'll attach it to the canvas, and then I'll name it. I'll name it. I named it Snake Eyes, but I have a ton of these pieces. I'll just name them something with my name on the top, and I'll put this on the street. I'll attach these art pieces to poles on the street with my name on it, as you can see with the title of the work, and that's my conceptual art. I like conceptual art more than I like my commissioned work, although I enjoy doing both. I enjoy commissioned work because you have to make it good. You have to make it so good enough so somebody will pay you, and you have to focus and you have to be intense about it. Whereas my conceptual pieces they're fun. They're fun to do. I don't have to worry about technique or anything. It's just the concept. And I like that. I like just to think of the concept and do it. Do the concept. I found, for example, I was on the street the other day and I found this old phone that looks like it was crushed by a car. And there's interesting things in there, and then when you go to the back, I think this is where the screen would be. You see sort of what's under what would be under the screen, and I'm going to attach that to a canvas, and I'll probably call that modernity. I know I will call it modernity because I've already thought about it. So that's the kind of stuff that I'm working on. It's the kind of stuff I think about. It's the kind of stuff that I want people to know about, because as a visual artist, just trying to push things out, I mean, people are busy. They don't really know what you're doing. They don't really care what you're doing. If they want a commission, they want that painting because they like the photo that they're giving you. So they're emotionally attached to the painting. So that's why commissions work for me. The other conceptual stuff is I don't know what the word for it is. It's brutal because you have to get it out there, which I do. I put it on the street, but I think it would translate into pretty good gallery shows. But it's neither here nor there, as they say. And quickly, I want to show. This is what I just finished for this lady. It's a cityscape of her little cat in the window. When she gave me the photo, I didn't know what to think about it because I don't know if it would make a good painting, because you can only see the black, I guess it would be the silhouette of the cat, but it's a little cat with a huge skyline. But I think it turned out great. I think this is a great painting. I'm going to deliver this tomorrow. It's dry. I just finished it. Put the wire in the back with the name on it. What did I name it? I named it Room with the View, so I name all my paintings. And that's about it. I'm going to keep doing this vlog. I've been screwing around on YouTube for years, putting shorts out and TikToks, and like I said, changing my accounts and all this stuff. But I think it's fun to talk about art. I talk about art with my friends on the phone all the time. And we just talk about ourselves. I talk about myself and my art. He talks about himself and his art. And we critique each other, and we sort of come up with new ideas and ask each other if the ideas are good or bad or whatever. And it's fun. It's fun to talk about it. So when I'm not working on paintings and I have a little time, I'm going to do these vlogs. And we'll talk about more stuff later. I got a lot to talk about. A friend of mine that I used to make art with wrote a book, and this was about stuff we did 20 years ago. And so his kids are now in college, and I think he has some time on his hands, and he wrote a book about our life as young artists in New York City. And he didn't put our names in the book. He didn't put his name in the book or my name in the book or the other guy's names in the book. He gave us pseudonyms. And I'm like, dude, I already have a pseudonym. I do art to get my name out there. Don't change my name. So we're going to talk about that later, and hopefully I can get them to put our real names in the book, because that would be really cool. Okay, I'm going to cut this thing off, and I'm going to do this more often, and I'm going to post this and see how many views I get. Maybe 5, 10? We'll see.